16. Here we go, another episode. Let's get right to it. Ball's coming up across center line. Now, right off the bat, when this ball moves down into that deep, strong side primary, utilizing your primary areas, I would say, even though you have a good look currently at this, I want to step down a little bit. I want to step down. I want to get a better look. Okay, so let's keep moving on here in this film. So it's a good pass out. Still got a good look, and so this is where a lot of the problems come in. New officials or someone that's really trying to get down the court without really getting through the play first. So we're on our back foot. The ball is up. You want to step down and you want to focus on anything that's going to happen in this play, rebound or whatever. It's essential to make sure that you're stepping down in this. You want to stick to the play that is currently happening and not leave. All right, in this clip, we're going to be looking at making sure that we're administering the ball correctly, and that means we're in the front court. We're going to hand the ball to the player, not bounce. So let's run this clip here. We're gonna hand that ball, and also let's make sure we're not too far underneath this basket. And, making sure that you're not so far turned in to what's going on here. Making sure you still have a good look at things that are unfolding. All right. So let's hit this clip. Keep on going. Now, ball is going to go out of bounds. And it's actually going to stay white. Now, this ref has already declared, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to lead. And the lead here is going to go up to trail. But he's trying to get that visual communication, and it doesn't go too well at all. So there is a communication here, and it looked like he was going to make the right decision, but he has stepped away, and so the trail goes along with it, and follows suit and just make sure that there's no problems. So, in the bigger picture, let's make that switch. And I will say that was a good bounce to the player there. But making the switch is essential in this particular part, as well as making sure we hand the ball on the inline. Okay, in this particular clip, we are going to focus on collecting information on the foul. Taking time, pausing, looking around, acknowledging what has happened, and then we're moving. Until that whole process is done, we should not be leaving the spot. So he's going to tell his partner, one shot, and then we're going to have the look back. This only means that we didn't take enough time here to collect the information. It's very, very simple to collect the information before we move. We're going to go into the table, and we're going to run into the table. What do we want to do? We want to stop and then start. Additionally, we want to utilize the box that we have. So, if you are ending up around here or here, you can end up around here. utilizing your voice, putting out the information that's correct, and then being able to just step in to your next position. So think about where you're going to end up. And it really helps because then you just flow into it. So this is a little further down the line than I like. I like to be, like I said, in this area and being able to look at the players I'm responsible for. So let's utilize out of reporting, coming to the right spot so that we can take responsibility for those players that we are in charge of on the free throw. All right, so in this clip, let's really break down how we can get the best position to make a really good call. So in this position, we have the lead that seems like he's on the sideline in that deep corner. In this particular play, I would want him here so that he can see what's going on here. His primary is here, and obviously there's no action here. His partner is making a good effort to look across because he's not having anything go on this corner. So let's push along here in this clip here. Okay, first and foremost, this when you raise your hand up with the palm up, that means the clock stops. Okay, so when a 3-point shot is attempted, we're going to go 3. And if the ball goes in, we're going to raise our hands for a 3. After the ball goes in, we are going to make sure that that information is acknowledged by our partner, and he is going to acknowledge that to the board. Then after that is made, that mechanic is made, you're going to drop your hands, and then you're going to go in to the ball being taken out. So let's make sure we're doing the right mechanics, and being on the the inline, being at the right position to have a good view of what's going on in the game. All right, let's take a quick peek at this clip here. Now, from the get-go, it looks like the lead is a little uncertain if he is going to take the place of the trail. And this all leads into confidence and making that move and the fluidity of that move. So let's keep it going here. All right, this right here is beautiful. It's a stop and a presentation. Take notes. That's the way it's done. But I want to also mention that we always want to keep someone's eyes on the players. Very, very, very important. All right, so let's continue on in this clip. All right. So now the new trail is going to set in, and we are going to hand the ball to the player. That is no go. Let's bounce the ball to the player because we are on the sideline. We are going to bounce on the sideline. If we're on the inline and it's in the front court play, we are going to hand. If you're on the inline and you are heading up court, you can bounce the ball to the player. So sideline, bounce, inline, front court, hand, inline, going up the court, you can bounce. So put that in the register. Let's push on here with this clip. All right, so I mean there was really nothing problematic with the ball going in, but let's just focus on mechanics. Let's focus on what the evaluators are going to look at, and what matters to them is getting it right, because you're going to be moving up in your career, and these little things, they really matter. Bouncing the ball on the sideline, understanding the inline when it's in the front court, handing it to them. So putting these all into your box of tools is going to be very, very helpful. All right, in this clip, we're going to be focusing on where our trail is looking, and we're going to be focusing really on the liability of taking responsibility for your primary. Staying connected to the ball and making sure that you're looking at the right direction, being able to step down, but moreover, understanding how important it is to stay connected, because if you don't, there's a strong possibility that the lead's going to have to take up some of the slack. And sometimes you'll find refs that are just not inclined and want to do that because they want you to take responsibility for your area. So we have a disengagement here completely from the primary of trail. Now, the ball player is moving into the lead position, but he's still not there yet, so we want to drop down. Even though we're having a good look here, there's not much engagement happening here. All the stuff is going to be now on the other side. So you want to make sure that you're stepping down and getting a good visual on what's happening. Let's push ahead here. And so this is what happens. You are in a position here, and you want to be over here because you're working the arc, and so you can see these particular things that are going on. However, lead obviously is going to have that sideline to dictate if that ball went out of bounds on who. But just to reiterate, your focus is primary. Don't leave your primary. It's a huge spot. Utilize that arc movement. Move your feet. Be in the right spot. All right, in this clip, we're going to be focusing on one of the fundamental things after a shot and a foul in a free throw. Very important to make sure we go around. Make sure we go around and we're looking at the players and that we don't go through. Here we go. All right, so we're pushing through all these players, and we're not paying attention to anything. We want to make sure that we are making a good, solid move to our next position, being able to get a good look at everything that's going on the court. So, do not go through the players. All right, in this particular clip, we're going to be really focusing on the trail's responsibility as well as the lead. Lead is going to have this sideline for the ball if it goes out of bounds. Most importantly, in this clip, I want to make it very clear, if you are tracking your assignment here and focused on your primary, you're going to be moving into this specifically in sort of an arc movement. So let's get this going here. All right, so at first I thought the ball was just tipped out, but it was a foul. So now this starts a whole new process. And so let's see how they go about it. So he indicates what it is. But now we have a double report. He's going to report, and now he is going to get into a spot. And then now we're going to have what we call a two-trail situation. And this is only because this anticipation right here was really inclined probably to go report and then have a switch. But because it didn't happen that way, he has to respond to what's happening. Not a lot of control on this particular players coming in, back to the players. This was this is a little sloppy, and it really comes down to communication and making sure you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then you move on from that. So just take that in consideration. If the ball goes out here without a foul, that changes up the whole mechanic, and we'll go over that another time if it comes up. All right, in this particular clip, we are just really going to focus on the trail and the disconnection from the play. I keep saying this over and over again because I really want to get this point across, that your primary is really big, and you need to take accountability for this area. Lead is doing his job by looking at some of the hot spots that are going to be happening down here. And so as we go through this, you'll automatically see a disengagement. All right, that's a good look. And then, all right, so I just want, what are we looking at here? The engagement is here. And I went through this whole game and I've seen this happen multiple times. And so I'm trying to figure out if this official maybe is not, aware of his primary and is thinking that his primary cuts off somewhere in here. But let's look at it in a positive note, that if you're watching this, you are going to say to yourself, I need to step up here. And then when that ball goes down, I need to step down. Okay, let's keep on going here. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that this trail is not concerned with this. Where should you be as a trail in this particular play? Is you want to be up here. You want to be able to see what's going on. Like I said before, I'm not entirely sure why this is happening, but I do believe that lead is taking responsibility of half of this court. So that is something that needs to be quickly brought to this ref's attention by leadership in whatever manner that is. Okay, so timeout, and this whole clip goes on, but I'm just going to cut it right there and say, watch your primary, focus on what you're supposed to be doing. We'll leave it at that. All right, in this particular clip, we're really going to focus on our primary and making sure that we're focusing on the action that is happening, but at the same time getting a good look at our primary. What I want to say here is that as we run this clip, it is very obvious that the lead in this game thinks that his primary ends here. I will say, though, there's only 10 seconds on the clock, so he is paying attention to the clock. But this has to be a quicker glance because we have something that is occurring in your primary, lead has now decided, I'm just going to take it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it. And so this turns up to be, you take it, but I'm going to call it. And that can always make someone frustrated. So let's look at the reaction from lead. Okay, well, all right, well, you got it. Since you were 500 miles away, and I had a good look on it, even though it's out of my primary, it's still a good call for him because he had a better look. So, long story short is, utilized the movement on the arc, and if you feel like you weren't in a good position and you're just trying to take ownership over your primary and you know you weren't in a good position, humble it up and let the lead do it. Even though it's out of his area, it's close, but just let him have that and own up to the possibility that you are just not in the right place. And I know that's hard to do for some refs, but sometimes it's just needed. It is. It really is. All right, we're going to continue on with this clip, and I want to show you what you really want to avoid in a game. It's called the director. Pointing, saying things and being active, overactive. So, he's taking ownership over the call. Obviously, the lead knows what to do, right? And so, this little situation is important to see. He's not giving up. He's like, I'm going to give you the ball. I'm going to go to my spot, and let's go and do that. Meanwhile, after that whole thing, it seems like to me there is a engagement of, while I'm here, I might as well do something. So, let's pay attention to the situation at hand. Why are we doing what we're doing? And let's just push this clip a little bit further here. So it's 1-1. And I think that we're on the wrong side. It looks like to me we're on the wrong side. Lead is on table and trail is on sideline. Where lead is supposed to be here and trail is supposed to be here. It doesn't matter if there's 8 seconds on the clock. If you're getting evaluated in that second half when they normally show up, this right here is going to get you in trouble. Like, why were you on the wrong side of the court? Just because there's 8 seconds on the clock. So, think about where you are going and what you're doing, and make sure that you guys are all on the same page. It's very, very important. Alright, good people, thank you for checking out this episode. I really appreciate everybody that takes time, specifically if you're new and are really eager to learn. I'm hoping to do more of these. However, I want to be very clear. Sometimes I feel like my attitude changes as the quarters go, and I need to make sure I don't get overly enthusiastically disappointed at certain things. I don't know these officials, and so sometimes the inner, like, what are you doing, or why are you doing this, starts to come up, and I'm trying to be unbiased and to share some of my points without being too judgmental. So, thank you for stopping by, and I'm most definitely going to do some more as we push along with more content. I'm Sarge from Come On Ref. Have a good one, everybody.